In this episode of Offroad Outlaws, we are on our way to pick up our next project, and you join us here at a fuel stop where we basically stopped to refuel the truck, run in and get a couple of things from the gas station, and then now we're actually going to get back on the road and head out to where we think this project car is, because it has been, well, it's not our project car yet, but it will be once we get there. Now, supposedly it's been abandoned for some time, and we've been on the highway for quite a while trying to make our way out here, and we knew we were getting close when the terrain started to get a little bit more hilly, but supposedly, according to the info that we have, this car is supposed to be kind of under a bridge somewhere, sort of abandoned next to a tree. At least that's what the info tells us. So we're gonna go a little bit further forward, and then once we get to an area where you can turn off to the right, that should take us down near this lake, and we should be able to find where this car is. Now, supposedly the paint is like completely rusted out. There's not much left of it visually, but I don't know yet if we're going to keep that sort of retro style and we're going to kind of, leave it sort of rusty and just clear over that, like make sure it doesn't obviously rust away, but like we're not going to repaint it into some shiny new color, or we could repaint it into a shiny new color. We just have to see what kind of style we want to go for with the build. So let's see. I see something. That's definitely the car in question. All right, so let's pull up real quick and let's see what we're working with here. Now, this thing looks like it's been here for, well, judging by the condition of the paint, it's been here for quite some time. Although, oddly enough, the tires don't actually look all that old. They're white walls, which, I mean, I guess that makes sense for cars of this time period. It also looks like someone tried to fix this thing, but left some tools here and didn't really, like, I guess, finish working on it. I guess they tried to get it running again, but there wasn't much they could do. Now, obviously, we already know that this thing doesn't run. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to turn the truck around and get this thing winched up onto the trailer, which that in itself is going to be a little bit of a process. And after quite a bit of back and forth with the winch, we finally got this thing up onto the trailer, got it strapped down, and now we can take it back to the shop to figure out what kind of condition it's in and also decide what we want to do with it. And I'm excited to be taking on a project that's a little bit different than what we normally take on, because normally we go, we go into projects that are either monster truck based or, maybe rock crawler based. This thing is very different from that, but I think it definitely has a place in our garage. And I don't know about y'all, but I really like having a super diverse garage lineup of different vehicles. I feel like, if your garage is just one thing, like if it's just one type of vehicle or vehicles that are only built for one specific type of purpose and nothing else, then it's like there's so little variety. But a garage with a lot of variety is always so much fun, because you could be like, well, do I want to take the monster truck, the mud bog truck, the rock crawler, or the, high horsepower drag car, or whatever the case may have been on that particular day or that particular scenario. So let's go ahead and get this thing down the hill, and we'll get it up to our buddy's shop and see what they think about it. So there's the shop right there. So I'm going to pull on in, and we're going to get this thing up into one of the bays. So let's see. All right. Turn it around. And now I'm going to see how terrible my backing skills are with this thing. Backing up a trailer in Offroad Outlaws is terrible anyway, and this only highlights that even further. And I know there's, you know what? That's fine. Well, you know what? We'll push it in the rest of the way. Not only was getting it in here a little bit of an issue, but it barely fits on these lifts. Like, it is barely wide enough. I didn't realize that these were like commercial size lifts and not like regular vehicle lifts. But let's crouch down real quick and see what we can see up underneath. Now, it doesn't look like the setup on it is all that crazy, so there's definitely room for a little bit of improvement there. And I mean, we can try to do an oil change on it, but the oil in it is probably so old that like it wouldn't even you probably couldn't even heat anything up with it. I mean, it's probably that old. But I think what we're going to do now is get a little bit more in depth, get some tools out, and start tearing this thing apart and see what we really want to do with it. So the direction I've decided to go with this car is something a little different than what I usually do. Now, I want this thing to be an absolute monster, but not in the way that you might think. I want this thing to be semi-stealthy, but like still able to rip and just absolutely shred through mud. But we're not going to have it high off the ground in order to do that. So my plan here is something a little bit tricky. So what we're going to do is we're going to go for a, well, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, on the suspension setup. I think what we might do is we might stick with the solid axles, but we'll go super in-depth with the tuning on them. Now, wheels and tires wise, we are going to be swapping these out. We'll swap out the tires themselves, but what we'll do is we'll leave it on these sort of like old school style wheels, and where they've used the sort of the bead lock to simulate a white wall tire. So we'll grab some mud-friendly tires like these, and not only will this be stealthy because of that, but it will also be stealthy because we're actually going to take the fronts and we're going to make them even narrower so they don't clip through those front fenders. Now, let's go into wheels and tires. Wheel width, and we'll make them narrower down to like a 0.7. And again, it's going to be a stealthy little setup, and I really think it's going to shine because of that. Now, suspension tuning wise, what we really need to do is we really need to see how well it's going to handle bumps, because it's going to need to obviously handle them. But let's give it some, let's see, start. We need to make sure that it's not going to bounce all over the place constantly. So let's see. That's not too bad, actually. That's not bad at all. And luckily, it's not like constantly leaving the ground. That was what I was really worried about, was that it was going to constantly leave the ground. But I think on that front, we're okay. So now it's time to do all of the engine stuff. So let's see. Diesel. Oh, it is. Oh. So that means, back to gas, it's already diesel, and it's fully maxed out turbo. How much power does this thing actually make? Run the dyno. Oh my god! 1,410 horsepower and 2,373 foot-pounds of torque. Yeah, this is, okay, yep, this is insane. This is absolutely insane. All right. What's the gearing like? So it's 3.014. We'll do our sort of mud racing baseline. 3.22015 10 and 0.7. Well, let's say 0.8 for now. All right, so that's done. And then now we got to go back into the customization, because I want to see if it's possible to... Oh my god, it is. Dude, what? Okay, this is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. Okay, beautiful. We're going to throw a single stack, or should we do dual stacks? Well, I guess it depends on what kind of engine's in it, right? So, I guess, you know what? We're going to go with a single stack. But let's see. I definitely want to get rid of those yellow headlights. And is there anything else that... Okay, yeah, those are all just like huge flares. Those are cut fenders, which, the cut fenders don't really do much for it, in my opinion. So let's see. Is that like actual exo cage stuff? Yeah, it is. Whoa, look at that. The bumper delete, that's a lot of bumper delete. That's pretty wild. Although, I mean, I feel like it's not the worst thing in the world, because we're going to need as much approach angle in the mud as we can get. Absolutely as much as we can get. Okay, so that's good as is, but now we just need to go ahead and throw our TC Customs livery on the side. Well, not really livery, but like just brand logo, sort of. And, all right, TC Customs. And then now that we've got that there, I want to go ahead and size it up a little bit until it's just big enough. And then now that it's big enough, well, there we go. Now it's big enough. Okay, now we're bringing that one down. And then we're going to duplicate you. Then we're going to bring you back up to white. So you've got the little 3D shadow behind you. Exactly as I wanted it. And then now we're going to copy this one again, bring it over to the other side, and repeat the process one more time. So we've got you rotated. And then now we're going to duplicate. And then we're going to go back up. Then we're going to bring it back over again. And then we're going to make sure that the shadow lines up, and it does. All right, this thing looks gnarly. This thing looks absolutely nuts. So now, is there anything else we want to do with it? I think underneath, just to, like, make it even more, like, kind of get it into character even more, let's give the axles a little bit of a rusty color, too, just to kind of line them up a little bit more with the rusty character of the car. So we've done that, and then now we're going to darken the rest of the suspension. Oh, that makes it look so much more mean. That's so much better, like, in terms of, like, an evil look. That looks amazing. Okay, and we're also... Let's see. I think we're going to leave the wheels alone. I was thinking about going back and messing with the wheels a little bit. I think I'm going to leave the wheels alone. And then now we get to go test this thing. And test it we will. So equip this trailer. I am pumped, y'all. This thing is going to be nasty. I think it's going to absolutely shred. I don't know how complete the tune is. But, I mean, that we will figure out once we actually get this thing out into the wild. So let me grab the tow rig. Not this thing, but the tow rig. I need to sell that randomized build. I don't know why I haven't sold it yet. Here we go. All right. Whoa, $260,000. I'll take it. I will definitely take that. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and head on out to the testing ground. So let's see. Single player. And we'll go ahead and turn on 5x drone speed, no vehicle damage, NOS, and heavy coal. And custom maps. And where is, there it is, TC's quick race. Let's freaking load in, y'all. This is gonna be absolutely wild on just about every level. I think that if we've tuned it right, which I can't guarantee we have, we probably haven't, but once we have it tuned right, this could very well become one of the fastest vehicles at our specific course. So let's see what it's like. It's a little bit heavy on the trailer, but then again, like, that one update that they did a while back kind of made everything feel heavy on trailers for some reason. I'm not really sure why it did that. I think it was a side effect of something else in the update. So let's go ahead and detach, swap over. I have a feeling this thing's gonna shred. Like, I don't know why I feel like it's gonna shred, but I feel like it's gonna shred. Let's see how it accelerates. 3, 2, 1, go! Oh my god! Okay, it's nuts. I feel like it'd be even faster if we put a manual in it. Alright, let's see what kind of speeds it can hold down the course. 3, 2, 1, go! Did a little bit of a handbrake assisted launch there. This is without nitrous, by the way! Oh, it's like almost flying over the mud. It's legitimately almost flying over the mud. And, ooh, come on. Oh, it's maintaining like 40 in the mud. That's nuts. That's absolutely nuts. And across the line. Okay, now we got to take it back and we got to do another run. Whoa, with the nitrous, it's so fast. It's like too fast. With the nitrous, you can barely even control it. It's that fast. Like, seriously, it's absolutely wild. I'm curious. Let me hit these. Oh, okay. Well, that happened. I don't think I've ever flown that far off of that before. All right, let's try this course again using the nitrous. I feel like we're just gonna... It's gonna be bad. 3, 2, 1, go! Okay, yeah, immediately pointing at the wall. Okay, up and over it goes. Holy... Oh! it basically flies all the way, almost all the way anyway, over a lot of these mud sections. It's like they're not even there. And, well, it flew entirely over that one. All right, yeah, this thing's a lot crazier than I thought it was going to be, and I will definitely be playing around more with this car in the future. But if y'all enjoyed this video and enjoyed this abandoned vehicle rebuild, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I will see y'all next time.